know if it'll ever lash in.
And, Steve,
and here we are. Good evening, everyone. It's Amigos After Dark. I am TJ with Steve, with Adam, and with Chris, and we are here after a very heartfelt and somber announcement earlier today about Rage and Marvin, and I mean, to be honest, me losing two more of my best friends. I will say this. I got to, after we were done, I was able to get on the phone and I was able to talk to Rage one more time and say my goodbye. And I said, I have a message for you. And he goes, and she said he nodded. And I said, Sarah Jane said that if you can't pay her back before you go, then she needs your estate to cover your debt. And I am the first one in 4 days that has gotten any type of physical reaction out of him. He mustered up enough energy to flip the phone off.
Way to go. That's rare.
That's good. I mean, that's kind of a promising sign, actually.
Good. You deserve it, TJ.
Well, I just I was trying to help him out. He does have this debt that's looming.
Yeah.
And he really should pay Sarah Jane back. But, evidently he's going to try to take that debt with him to his grave. And that's very sad. I'm sorry, Sarah Jane, but you're probably not going to get your money.
Nope.
It's okay. You'll be rewarded.
Yes. And I have been on and off the phone both with Rage's wife, Heather, and with Marvin's daughter, Nicole. And I've been on and off the phone with both of them quite a bit today, texting with Nicole and talking to Heather. I've got the update on Rage's status. To give you guys an idea, his O2 sat level is between 70 and 73. He is on full blast on the nasal cannula. His kidneys have shut down. We're not long, folks.
Right.
Marvin's condition,
night, I think, will be a miracle.
Yeah, that's about where we're at. Marvin's condition is declining rapidly. They ran a catheter on him today. Of course, Nicole and his grandson, they are spending as much time as they can with him. And I'll say, like I said earlier, these are two of my best friends. I'm going to miss the hell out of them.
Oh, yeah.
But now is the time, unlike earlier, now's the time to start trying to remember some of the fun stuff. So I have a story for you guys to kick that off, and it is a Rage story. It's one I have never told, ever once on the air. And at the end of this story, there is a picture involved, and I am willing to pay a ransom to get this picture back. So let me know when you guys are ready for this to start.
Oh, I'm ready.
Yep, let's get it going.
Chris, what do you think? You think you're ready to hear this one?
Sure, why not?
So, the beginning of this story goes back to Fort McCoy, Wisconsin. And this is while Roy and I were stationed at Fort McCoy. And we had a first sergeant that was pretty overbearing, doing barracks inspections on soldiers that are on medical hold. I mean, that's how bad it was, right?
Yeah.
So he ordered a barracks inspection for our barracks. Now, Roy and I both, being NCOs, we shared a squad leader's room. Everybody else was out in the open bay. Okay?
Okay.
So we got everything set up in our room, and in the open bay, there was one bunk that was open. Nobody was in it, but we made it up. We got it dressed tight, ready to go. And we're doing all this the night before the inspection. So we got everything ready in the barracks, and we all took off, and we decided to go into town, into La Crosse, which we lovingly called La Crotch, Wisconsin.
Rightly so.
And we decided to go.
Six pack.
But we decided to go blow some steam off. Okay.
Okay.
So we get into La Crosse, and me and Roy and one of the other soldiers were running around downtown La Crosse, Wisconsin. And we end up at this store. Can I get a pack of Pall Mall Mint 100s? We end up at a store that was of the adult variety.
Oh.
Okay.
Steve automatically lights up like, really?
Yep.
Oh, come
There's a
on.
lot of those in Wisconsin.
Especially in La Crosse.
Yeah. Well, you got to do something when it snows.
Well, I mean, as cold as it is up there, and Adam, you've experienced that.
Yeah. Like I said, I speak from experience.
So here we go. We go in this store, and automatically there are two things that catch our eyes. The first was an inflatable sheep.
Okay.
Okay.
The second one, which Rage and I have referenced a few times in the past, was a 6 foot tall inflatable penis.
Okay.
And I look up and I said, if somebody else buys the sheep, I'll buy the dong. The other soldier with Roy and I bought the sheep immediately. So I ended up buying the dong.
Mm-hmm.
We got back that night, blew the dong up, blew up the sheep, and we put the dong next to that empty bunk with a soldier's beret on its head.
Okay.
And we set the sheep up in such a way that it was on the footlocker in front of that bunk, staring up at the head of the dong. And we left it like that. So we had our inspection the next day. Top comes up. He comes into the squad leader's bay first, or squad leader's room, checks out Roy and I's room. He checks out, and then he starts walking down the center of the main bay. He's inspecting bunks and soldiers and footlockers, and he gets to that bunk the way it was set up. Turns and looks at every one of us in that part of the barracks and goes, y'all motherfuckers ain't right. Stops the inspection immediately and leaves the building.
That sounded like a good assessment of the situation.
We were dying of laughter.
I just want to let the listeners out there know, though, that if you are wondering what a inflatable sheep is doing in an adult type store in Wisconsin, it's Wisconsin. They get lonely. They don't judge. It's the home of Jeffrey Dahmer and Ed.
This is true.
Yeah.
But why is sheep?
This is
What's the deal with the sheep? I mean,
do what?
Why sheep?
I'll tell you what.
Why not a cow or a dog?
We couldn't find an inflatable. We couldn't find a blow up cow.
Well, I know, but
Because according to the sheep's female anatomy is the closest that would resemble a human woman.
Okay.
I was going to say because the sheep would provide warmth when it's really cold during the winter and kind of leave it there. But I think Chris is closer to the
Well, so do
truth.
pigs.
Why do you think they wear them big waders?
Damn it.
Keeps the sheep
But
held
pigs will
down.
provide that warmth too.
That's okay. I'd rather just eat bacon.
Yeah, but don't male sheep have like massive balls?
I've
know.
never
I've
looked
never
at a
looked.
sheep's balls.
Well,
I have no clue. Who would look at a sheep's balls?
I don't know. I'm not even curious. I mean,
Is there anybody that we know that would look at a sheep's balls?
Steve, of course. Steve.
Okay, well, Steve, I give you an A for your honesty.
Yeah.
I also give you an A for coming up with something completely new and disturbing.
Well, I wonder why, but Chris made that makes sense, they sheep's anatomy
yeah.
is closest to the females.
Well, okay, so
talk about people fucking sheep,
So we get this prank done, and then the sheep kind of went into the one guy's foot locker and never really came back out again.
Shy sheep.
So, well, I don't know if it was shy sheep or he was waiting until nobody was looking, like if he was in the shower or something, and then he got the sheep out. And he was from Chicago, so I never really questioned it that much because he's from Chicago.
You got a little squeaky on.
From like Wisconsin or Montana or Alaska, one of them states where they get really lonely.
No, but he was from Chicago.
Being from Chicago, that's just fucking weird.
Well, maybe he wanted something different.
Who we got walking through, Adam?
Fiance and future stepdaughter. See,
Hi,
there's
fiance.
Julie.
I mean, that could have been it. It could have been that he was just really lonely.
Yeah, like Brokeback Mountain.
Don't you guys get to go out on leave and shit on the weekends? Like, you got.
Oh yeah, I took weekend passes all the time and got the hell out of there. But what I'm saying is, the way it was, like, I don't know, the sheep disappeared. However, that 6-foot dong just had this habit of appearing in random places throughout the barracks for the next 4.5 months that I was still there before I got out of the service. And so I fully intended to leave the motherfucker there. I was going to leave it at Fort McCoy. Okay. Somehow, and I have not figured out how yet, but somehow that damn thing wound up in my foot locker.
I hope it's deflated.
It was deflated, but it wound up in my foot locker. I had to bring it home.
Wait, I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. I had to take a text here. Did you end up with the sheep or the dong?
The 6-foot one.
Yeah. He somehow maintained having the dong to end all dongs.
Yes.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because last year, 2023, I went up to Cincinnati with my brother Doug, and we went to Sonic Temple. And during Rob Zombie, I'm sorry, but Cincinnati, Ohio, your crowd is fucking weak. Or no, Columbus. That's where it was. Columbus, my bad. Your crowd was weak. I was in a neck brace, back brace, all kinds of fucked up, and I had to go down and start the mosh pit for Rob Zombie. And Doug actually pointed out a dude holding up this big, giant, inflatable penis. And I said, well, that's the guy that I'm going to hit to start the pit, man. That's where I'll be if you need me. And I went down and I just bashed into him, bashed into the other guy, and get the fuck out of my pit and kicked it off.
So the story continues. I get out of the service. I go back to Illinois. And I end up getting my apartment that Rage eventually moved into, that it was at the corner of 4th and North Grand in Springfield.
Oh, that's not.
We were literally right across the street from the Quick and Easy and the police substation.
That's
Okay.
not.
While I was at work one day, Rage was for some reason at home, and he started going through different shit. And he busted into my Foot Locker from the service and started going through like my awards and everything else, but found this 6-foot dong. And when I got home from work, it was reinflated in that apartment.
So Rage got excited about your huge dong.
He blew it.
Uh-huh.
Rage put his mouth on my huge dong.
And apparently
Let's make
got
no
it erect.
mistake here.
Rage put his mouth on your dong and made it erect.
Yes, he did. Rage was all about my dong that day. So this thing started becoming a running gag. Somebody'd fall asleep on the couch, and there are pictures around. Like, there's one picture of Rage holding the dong up to himself and poking Toby in the chin with that 6-foot inflatable dong like he's thrusting. There are pictures. How we doing? There are pictures floating around of Rage, rubbing it side to side on Freak's face. This dong became like an instantaneous joke that never died. It never died. Well, me being the ever-patient soul that I am, especially when it comes to a good prank, I waited. Because the one I wanted to get was Rage. And finally, after 2 months, my day came where I was able to get Rage. Me and this guy that keeps driving my truck are going to have it out.
Uh-oh.
You can smack him in the face with the inflatable dong.
I think he just broke the cord to my power mic.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Hasn't he messed with your mic before?
Huh?
Hasn't he messed with your mic before?
I'm about ready to have his ass.
Just don't have it.
You are a guest in my truck. This is not your truck. You need to back the fuck off of my truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
What the fuck did he... God, he fucked everything up in here again.
Every time.
If I have to cancel my time with Riley because of this fucking asshole, I'm going to be pissed.
You know, you can still buy that 6-foot pecker on Amazon. It's called King Pecker.
I can't believe you took the time to look that up.
Oh yeah, it's a little pricey. It's $43, but you can get one on Bachelorette.com. That's only $27. It's still 6 foot.
Does it only come in
Oh,
one
that
color?
son of a bitch ate all the rest of my orange slices.
Uh-oh.
That was my snacks, you motherfucker. You're fucking up my property and you're eating my food?
Oh, fuck that. You motherfucker eat my fucking food.
Yeah.
Oh, that motherfucker. That's cold.
It's not the first time he's done it.
No, it's not. This shithead has got to go.
Yep.
Anyway, all right, back to the story. I apologize again. So, Rage finally goes to sleep one day on the couch.
Okay.
Now, mind you, I had a 7-piece plush Lazy Boy sectional.
Damn.
You know, this was an expensive sectional back then, right?
Right.
Rage is asleep on the couch. I, of course, walk in from work. I see this. I smile. I grin with cheer of a Christmas child. Rage is asleep on the couch. I have my chance. Rather than immediately get the dong out and just put it in his face or anything, I decided for a more difficult, yet far more enjoyable, if successful, plan. I go into my kitchen. Now, mind you, this was also back in my days where I was slightly promiscuous.
Slightly. Slightly. Really?
Yeah, slightly.
Slightly. A little bit.
Slightly. And I get the whipped cream out of the fridge.
Oh, no.
And then I wait. And I get the dong out of the closet. Rage is still snoring. So I lay the dong.
I have guesses, but I'm going to let you finish the story.
I lay the dong down on the couch where it's kind of in a cuddle position. And what happened next, I could never have asked for, yet it was perfect. Rage rolled over at that moment in the fetal position and wrapped both arms and legs around this dong.
He started cuddling with it.
And proceeded to cuddle with this dong. So we have now this 380-pound wrestler.
Grappling that dong.
That has cuddle. He has set himself up to cuddle with a gigantic dong. So I do the only logical thing I can do. I spray a little bit of the whipped cream at the top of the head, and then I spray it down the shaft of the dong about, 6-7 inches.
Okay.
The picture that ended up getting taken, here's Rage, arms and legs wrapped around that dong, eyes closed, head of dong next to his head, mouth wide open next to the head of the dong from his snoring, with the whipped cream on the head and the little trail going down, looking like the dong just got off.
Please tell me some of the whipped cream got on his face.
And some of the whipped cream wound up looking like he got a facial.
Yeah. That was my guess way back then. But Not the arms and legs, though.
He did it himself when he sneezed and his face hit the dong and splattered the whipped cream all over his face. That was the picture that was taken because he settled back in, mouth wide open, snoring, eyes closed, face covered in whipped cream, arms are covered in whipped cream, and he's cuddling this giant dong and holding it like it's the last thing he'll ever get to hold.
Yeah. He's just going.
I am willing to pay a ransom for whoever has that picture. I want it back.
That's right. You heard it here. TJ's putting a bounty out for that picture.
I want that picture back. But it was so great because I wanted that so bad to get him because he made a big deal about getting everybody with that dong. And then when I got him, God, I got him.
That's right. You got Rage good with that huge dong, didn't you?
Oh, Rage took that dong like a champ. Rage loved and caressed that dong. Rage had a mouth for that dong. Steve looks like Steve's sitting here shaking his head like, my God, I could not believe you did that shit.
Oh, I can. I can believe
It was oh God, it was one of my favorite moments with Rage.
I don't know. I just wish that there were pictures or a video, something, because this would have been really hilarious to see.
I have a feeling though, if Rage had that picture, his picture's gone. He disposed of that picture. I bet if he had it.
Yeah.
I would. That's for damn sure. I would. You guys get a hold of it.
Oh, come on, Steve.
Bad enough I got a naked one floating around out there myself, but people that's out there on the internet.
It's like, wait a minute. Whoa. You have a naked picture out there, Steve?
Yeah, I sent it to my aunt.
That's not surprising.
Whoa. You sent it to your aunt.
Accidentally. I was trying to send it to Christina and TJ, but it went to the wrong Aunt Barb.
Dude, you did send it to me.
I know I sent it to you. Christina didn't get it.
You did send it to me. God damn.
So you sent a naked picture
It wasn't
of
just
yourself
me. It
to
was
TJ and your aunt.
Yeah. It was a picture of the Steve and Big D double team extravaganza. We were double teaming Jen. And I sent that picture. I was naked, Jen was naked, and Big D was naked. I thought Christina would like to see it because I don't think she thought I would actually fucking do it. I didn't think I'd actually do it.
I do love the fact that Dan is the only one who's going to get spit roasted in that whole thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody else, Big D's like, oh no, DP, no DP, no DP, no DP. And then you get to Dan, he's like, spit roast. Like, what the fuck? And what's even worse is Dan has actually thought about it enough that he has decided position.
Yeah.
Like, he knows who he wants to go where.
Yeah. He made the list. He's the only male on the list. So.
He is the only man on the list.
Yeah.
So it is an equal opportunity list.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Steve and Big D could add Chris to the list one day.
I don't know. I'm a little concerned with Chris. I have a feeling he's pretty rough. I think he likes to pull hair, and I don't want my hair pulled.
So that's going back to what I was saying. That's one of my favorite stories, just about Rage and how he got himself into some of the single most fucked up circumstances you could think of.
How Rage caressed a huge dong and got cream covered.
Oh yeah, he got cream pied all right. And after our announcement show today, I heard from Tommy, and and again, me and Tommy and all of us, we all ran around together. I love Tommy to death. One of my better friends. He's another Morning Disaster alumni.
Yeah.
We get along great, right?
Right.
So Tommy gets a hold of me. And we started telling different stories about Marvin. And Tommy made a point when it came to Marvin. Marvin is one of those rare people. What you see is what you get, and he is not holding back.
Okay.
Marvin is one of the single most authentic people you will ever meet. And he could fit in anywhere. So Tommy tells me the story of him and his now wife. They went to Clinton Lake, and this was one of the days where all the houseboats got into the party cove and they're partying.
Oh, yeah.
And Tommy's, I think he said his dad had one of those houseboats. Tommy had this pontoon. So he's got him and Marvin and his now wife on the pontoon, and they go out to the houseboats. And Tommy's dad comes up and goes, "Hey, you better go get him. He's up there partying with so-and-so that does this, that, the other, and makes all this crazy money." And he looks up on one of the houseboats, and up on the top of the houseboat, there's Marvin up there dancing with the guy's wife and partying and having a good time.
D.
Yeah, pretty much. And so Tommy's like, "Oh shit." He takes off. He takes off, gets over there, gets up there, and he goes, "Man, Marvin, come on, we got to go." And Marvin goes, "No." And the guy goes, "Wait a minute. No, I've almost got his lobster tail and his steak done." What? This guy loved Marvin so much that he brought him onto his boat to feed him lobster tail and steak.
Yeah.
Steve, don't you wish you had it like that?
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
And we're not talking regular steak. We're talking filet.
Oh.
There you go. Proper surf and turf.
Filet and lobster tail. And Marvin's like, "I like the filet, Tommy."
Was it bird of beef?
No, I think it was Japanese Wagyu.
Oh.
Some good Wagyu?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. All he said is it was filet. And I'm like, my God, man. That's crazy. He blended right in. That was what blew me away. It's just like he blended in. I mean, I'll never forget when I was an intern at I-97 in Bloomington. That was the first time I ever saw Marvin. And he comes, and I mean, I'm not somebody who gets freaked out by a lot of different shit. But here comes Marvin in the Kabuki Warrior makeup with a loincloth, a leather sleeveless vest, and a pair of work boots on.
A bald head and black beard.
And it's no pants. Now, mind you, this is February. It's 15 fucking degrees outside. And this is how he walks in. And that was also the same day I met Jim. And I look at
That
Jim
would
and
have
I
been
go,
one hell of a day.
oh my God. I look at Jim and I go, what the fuck is that? Oh, hey, that's Marvin. Hey, be glad he's done with his exercises. What exercise? What are you talking about? Exercises? Oh yeah, he ties a tennis shoe to his dong, and he likes to let that try to pull his dong down and make it grow.
The Marvin method.
Marvin and I have had some of the best moments on the air. And the way we were on the air, Adam has been in the middle of a conference call where it's me and Marvin talking. We were exactly the same way off the air.
Yeah, at that point, it might as well have just been a radio show that I was listening to, because there wasn't really room for me to talk. There was space for me to laugh, but other than that, they just roll.
Multiple times we would have conversations like that, and Marvin's like, insert laughter here. And but we had so many great moments. The Secretariat bit was, I mean, probably one of the most hysterical we did when we did the prank call to the 7-Elevens. Both of Marvin's prank calls to the sperm banks are classic.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite Marvin bits has got to be the Furby bit.
Oh yeah.
The Furby is my absolute favorite
Yeah.
of all time, and will remain so. Because that was so much off the cuff Marvin. And to make matters worse, he damn near got arrested for it.
Yeah, wasn't Ray trying to pull him off the street to end the bit?
And Ray was like, grab him, throw him into the car, and drive away. And Marvin was scaring tourists with that.
Oh shit.
But the little
and fuck me like a dirty whore.
the one that sent it over the top for me is when he walked up to the lady and he goes, "Hi, ma'am." Let me see if I can get my Marvin voice right here. Hello, ma'am. My name is Marvin, the photographer. And today I am celebrating the anniversary of the Furby. And as you can see, I am a giant Furby. And I would like for you to love me, hug me, and put me like a dirty whore. And I'm going, oh my God. Now, I had a friend of mine in Springfield. And remember, this is pre-internet broadcasting, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
So I had a friend of mine in Springfield that recorded the morning disaster shows for me back then, and then would mail them to me once a week in Germany. So when I got the tape it was that particular show. By that point, I was married to my first wife, and this was 1999, and I play it. And she looks at me and she goes, "I never want to meet your fucking friends." I said, "I don't know this guy, but I'm sure he's good people. I mean, it's got to be just an act."
I've been told that by a woman I was dating. You need to get better friends. I've been told that by women I've gone out with. You need to find better friends. I love my friends.
Oh, no, I'm not. And, like I said, this wasn't just you need to find better friends. This was, I never want to meet your fucking friends. How disappointed she'd be in me today.
Yeah.
Because, rage was not even a thought back then.
Right.
And back then, I'm sitting there in our living room in Germany. We're overlooking the German Alps out of our patio door. And I'm like, this is something I enjoy. This is something from where I was raised that I enjoy. This is part of me growing up. And she goes, I'm listening to it. You never grew the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with that?
I tried logic back. I'm like, I married you. And she goes, that's the only smart thing you've ever done. I'm like, I carried a 3.8 in high school. She goes, okay, so you have brains. That doesn't necessarily mean you use them. I said, I'm carrying a 4.0 in college. And she goes, yeah, to do what you're listening to right now. She goes, you are literally studying in college and putting everything into it to become retarded.
Well.
I was like, sounds like a plan to me.
I have 2 degrees. Look what I do now.
But the secretary, my conversations with Marvin could be extremely serious where we're talking about different things, but they could veer off course so fast. The secretariat bit and the other one that I remember and I was involved with and I cherish to this day and I loved that bit was hobo molestation. When he did hobo molestation, and then, oh my God, the obituaries or the predictions of how people will die.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did one for me recently.
No?
Not. Well, yeah. Don't you remember?
Did we
Or
do
did
that
we-
on the air?
Or did we air it?
I don't think we aired it.
Oh, so that was on a phone call.
Yeah. I don't think we aired that.
Oh.
The one I will never forget that we did air was when he told a former member of the show that he was going to die of ass clown molestation and being penetrated by ass clowns. I fucking died.
Yeah. I wish we recorded his obituary for me.
Oh my God. I mean,
Yeah.
Marvin had that natural talent. Well, he has that natural talent. You could be in the single most depressed mood that you've ever been in. And within 5 minutes of being in a conversation with him, he'll listen. He'll discuss the things that are bothering you. He'll help you out with it. And then he'll get you cracking up to such a way that you realize the problem wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
There's just so much about him that based on what his daughter was telling me today. And I mean, I know that we're facing imminent with Marvin now too. And it's just that it's hitting me. I'm not going to deny it. But Rage and Marvin, they were there for a lot of good times. And boy, they were there as sounding boards during a lot of bad.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take that away.
Yeah.
And when they do go, I'm gonna miss both of them a lot.
Yeah, obviously.
The one thing I could say with Rage and with Marvin both, though, is where with a lot of, and as you guys know, I've had a rough year this year already.
Yeah.
I've had an uncle, an aunt, my grandfather, and 3 close friends to this point now
Right.
that have passed.
Right. That's a lot.
Now I've got 2 of my best friends
Yeah.
that are on the cusp, and my dad is still in the hospital.
Right. Yeah.
And this year is a dumpster fire is a fucking understatement.
Yeah, your year truly is a landfill set ablaze.
With a propane truck.
Yeah.
But that's where I've been at. And it's like, and I know that the shows have ground down a lot on different episodes, literally because I've been dealing with this.
Right.
And the last time I had a conversation with Marvin was September, or it might have been early October. But before we hung up, he goes, I don't know, how much we're really going to be able to talk coming up. And I said, yeah. He goes, but I want you to know that I love you like my brother. And if I'm not here, I'll be the devil on your shoulder. Huh. I was like, are you going to help me hold the angel down? He goes, yeah, ask that bitch for food. And again, that was Marvin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Chris, I mean, you got the broadcast with Rage for a while. You've got to have a good one.
You already, I mean, my favorite Rage, you already went over how much shit you guys give him over Sarah Jane.
Oh, when TJ did the bit where he went on to talk about Rage, Pray for Rage is in the hospital because he tried to revive a squirrel with his nuts. And the fermenter squirrel put up and beat him on the nuts. That was the best one.
I love this. I do. Yeah, the squirrel nuts bit was great.
And we never got to do our Rage Against the Machine.
No, we didn't.
That would have been nice to see him with a little rubber hammer going up against a car crusher.
I did tell him, actually his son was in the room when I was talking to him, and his son walks up and goes, Dad, I'm going to miss you, and I love you, and you lost to the elevator. Oh, man. If he could have came out of the bed at that point, his heartbeat went up when he heard that. For just a minute, his heart rate went up. If he could have gotten out of that bed, he would have been swinging. I think, so many great moments. Yeah, the squirrel nuts is one of my favorites. When he started talking about his favorite horror movies.
Oh, yeah.
And then we did that whole thing, and then I went over mine. He's like, no. But when we started Unleashed, it was me and Rage when I started it. And when we started that, we had this whole thing in one of the first episodes. We had this whole thing of what have we learned from our past and how have we grown? And Rage said that he has learned to appreciate what he's got and to make sure that he covers his debts.
Oh.
And I go, oh, you have. Now, mind you, I do believe if Ray checks his files, and I got to check my files, but I know we both still have this bit. And I go, you have, huh? And he goes, oh, yes, I have. And he's trying to sound all distinguished. I said, well, I've learned something. He goes, oh, what have you learned? I said, I have learned that I need to ask you a question. Oh, what question might that be? And I said, when are you going to pay back Sarah Jane? He goes, you motherfucking son of a bitch. You know, I mean, he starts going.
Yeah.
I say Sarah Jane could have used that for her wedding recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could have. Might have
Did
been
she
good to
finally
clean
get
the
married?
stains.
Did she finally get married?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. Herpopotamus is Mrs. Herpopotamus now.
Yep.
Well,
She's
that's
quite
bad.
happy with the guy. The guy seems like a good guy. And yeah.
I wonder if they got a double order of Valtrex they've got to get every month.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Probably do by now. I'm pretty sure that's not genital warts. Well, Chris,
That's not
what about
funny.
Marvin? You got any good memories on Marvin?
Marvin makes me laugh.
Do what?
I said Marvin does make me laugh.
Anything in particular that stands out in your memory?
Put me on the fucking spot here.
The what?
You put me on the spot here, and my brain don't work like that. It's got to be random. Marvin. You know, honestly, I really truly think that me and Marvin had met before back in 2007.
Quite possible.
Yeah.
Because we used to go to the Tower Apartments because she just liked to hang out and chill and smoke weed and whatever with this dude. And I'm like 90% sure it was Marvin.
I
What?
don't know if Marvin was in the tower yet in 2007.
I mean, like I said, I don't remember the guy's name, and I barely remember what the guy even looked like. But when I saw Marvin on the camera the first time on the show, I'm like, wait a minute.
Was he bald?
Yeah.
Did the guy have the Looney Tunes tattooed on his head?
Yeah.
That was Marvin.
Yeah, it's got to be Marvin.
Marvin is the only one I know that had 5 of the Looney Tunes tattooed on his head. Marvin the Martian, Marvin the Martian's dog, K9. I don't remember all of them he has up there.
Well, he's one of 3 people I know that have cartoon characters tattooed on their head. Marvin, another guy I know had Mickey Mouse taking a piss on the top of his head. And then another guy I know had it was kind of like Slinky the dog from Toy Story, but it was just an old school cartoon wiener dog across the back of his head from ear to ear.
Yeah, Marvin had Marvin the Martian, K9. I believe he had the Coyote.
Okay, Wally Coyote.
Yep, Daffy Duck. And there was one other one.
Yeah, I'm like 99.9% sure I've met Marvin in person years and 17 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I remember,
years ago.
the stories of Marvin, and he's on the air with Ray doing Morning Disaster when it first became a podcast, and Pocahontas would come up to visit and groom him during the show. Well, you can't see Ray. It just, oh, another one that was just fantastic. Marvin logged in to an old Unleashed episode, and T-Bird was over there, and he talked her into changing the light bulb, and she's
I remember
wearing
that. I remember
right,
that.
yeah, she's
remember
wearing these damn near paper thin leggings, and she gets
Yeah,
up there,
I
and he
remember that.
turns that camera up, and we saw not only booty, but we saw camel
yeah.
toe.
Exactly. That's exactly the one I was thinking about. I couldn't remember her name though. I remember him logging in, and he fucking turned the camera, and she's changing the light bulb. You saw fucking everything. Damn.
And all I could do was just crack up. Like only Marvin.
You see, one of the bits, I don't know that it's necessarily a bit, it's just something that came up in conversation regarding Marvin while on the radio, was when Marvin and Jim tag teamed a girl.
Oh my God, which
And
time?
it was, yeah, and it was just, well, it's talking about how Wiener informed Jim was about
no.
Marvin.
You know what? That one was good, but it was not my favorite.
Okay.
My favorite one was somehow, I don't know how this worked, but somehow Jim is sitting on the seat in the limo.
Okay.
The girl is straddling Jim.
Ooh.
Okay.
Marvin is torso out of the sunroof in the limo. And Marvin is standing between the girl's head and Jim. And she is orally satisfying Marvin while riding Jim.
Oh,
So is
damn.
Jim tossing his salad?
So as the whole thing went, that the positioning of all of this had it perfect where Jim was getting teabagged throughout this whole thing. And I asked Marvin to tell that story again on Unleashed, and he's like, no, I do not want to relive Satan's kitty litter being that close to my testicles.
I think when Marvin pissed on Jim, it was hilarious.
I just, the joy and the laughter that Marvin brought to any show
Yeah.
was I mean, it was unprecedented. But the thing with Marvin, Marvin had to have the joke. You had to let him have the joke. He had to shine. And if you let him have the joke, it was gold.
Yeah.
Marvin and Steve and Jim are three of these people with that comedic timing and talent, and Rage even to a point with that. They all have this comedic timing and this talent that they're lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. They're not
Rage-
the same breed, but they're unique.
They're all unique. And Rage was different because to get that lightning in a bottle out of him, you had to piss him off.
Yeah.
You truly had to piss him off. And it was so entertaining. Adam, do you have a good memory there? Another one?
Well, regarding Rage?
Sure.
The ones that I remember are all, well, the ones that I remember more clearly than others are the Rage from jail.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the ones I remember. But yeah, just off the top of my head, that and some of the rants.
Oh my God.
Some of the rants were epic.
One of the best rants ever was on the Old Morning Disaster. This was after I had my contract in Wisconsin. John Lamb was back. And we're going to do a top 10 list for Rage. Top 10 things a woman needs to have in order for Rage to date her. And you hear Rage. What? Number one thing a woman must have in order for Rage to date her.
A job.
A penis. And I mean, Rage goes off.
I'd say a collection of 30-day chips.
One of them was an inability to smell body odor. Someone who can enjoy his keen fashion sense or lack thereof. I mean, there was this. It was just this monster list, and we're all rolling. We're rolling with this. And I can honestly say that one was one that, again, I had another friend of mine that got this, recorded it. I was in Wisconsin, sends it to me. I was there with the one I can honestly say, the one that got away, Emily. We're sitting there that night at my place, and I popped that tape in to listen to it, and I heard that, and she goes, "Now I see where you get it from." I was like, that's the fat motherfucker that turned down a $50,000 a year contract to come up here and work with me. He deserved that. And she goes, nobody deserved that. I said, that fat motherfucker did. She goes, be nice. I said, nice left at midnight, lady.
Yep.
That's one, and I'll tell you what. Now, all right, I don't think I've ever told you guys about Emily, have I?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, Steve, you're probably going to bust a nut as I start to describe this girl.
Oh boy.
5'10".
Oh.
Hispanic.
Oh.
Beautiful, long black hair.
Ooh. Olive skin. Or brown.
A little darker, a little brown.
Ooh.
Like a good tan.
Nice tan.
But not, huh?
Right. Nice tan.
But not like, but that was all over, We're not talking like really, really brown, but really,
Right.
definitely kind of like a little darker than Ray's complexion.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Gorgeous brown eyes.
Oh.
38 double D.
Ooh.
26 34.
Ooh. Damn.
And
Carpet or hardwood floors?
landing strip.
Oh,
Landing strip.
Oh.
So not too much, but enough to know that she was of age.
Oh.
Yeah.
And once she got started, personality.
Oh.
Oh, I mean, once she got started, she was a minx. I mean, God, back then I had a lot more stamina. I was, I'm a little younger, slightly promiscuous, but when I was with her, I wasn't. I mean, I was very faithful with her. But she gave me plenty of reason because there were nights that we were 7 hours off and on. We didn't get dressed. We were 7 hours off and on,
Yeah, you probably didn't leave the house for like a day either.
Oh, dude, I went to her place for a weekend, and a buddy of mine dropped me off. And actually, my broadcast partner up there, he drops me off. And we locked down in that place. And when we weren't banging, we were talking. We went into the kitchen. We cooked naked.
Oh.
And we made this big meal. And man, oh my God. I remember there was one night we were at one of the bars up there. And one of my listeners was talking to me. And of course, at that point I was a lot like Ray is now. I'm like, man, hey, I'm trying to just enjoy a drink and time with my girl. Leave me the fuck alone,
Right.
Yeah.
And this listener looks up and goes, wait a minute, so you're gonna blow me off for that Mexican?
Ooh.
And I started to lean back to slug him. She grabs my hand. She goes, no, relax. Oh, you sure? And he goes, and she's like, yeah, relax. Turns and looks at him and she goes, I'm Spanish, bitch, and lays him the fuck out. That is truly the one that got away. I would give my soul to reconnect with that one. Because go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, I learned very quickly, do not confuse Mexicans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, and Cubans. Do not mix them up. They don't like that shit.
No. I had one of those. And it pisses me off, because she's married now. Damn. It's one of them, the one I fucked up. I fucked it up. Yeah.
Oh, the one where you lost it?
Yeah.
No, what? No, was that Martha or?
No.
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 Do you still blame me for that?
No. No. No, I could say on this show because she didn't listen to this show, but she's a listener on the Morning Disaster show, so I try not to use her name. But
okay. Does that one start with an L?
No.
Oh, that one.
Starts with a K.
That one, yeah.
I'll be honest, she's the only woman I ever loved, and if she would say, "Hey, let's get back together," I'd be there in a fucking heartbeat. I fucked that one up. I got jealous. Yeah.
I used to date a Mexican girl back in the day, and it was.
Oh, I want to hear this. Tell us this one while I'm going through my pre-trip stuff.
Well, actually, it was a fun adventure. It was a girl I had actually known for a few years. And I tried to hook up with her before, but every time it was just the timing was off. And then finally, in 2007, we hooked up and we lived down in Springfield for a little bit together. And then we went on an adventure halfway across America and back. We went out to California, Oregon, Arizona, followed Ozfest. But I always, said that they were speaking Mexican. And she says, no, we speak Spanish. I says, no, people from Spain speak Spanish. You speak Mexican.
Right.
She's like, well, what do Puerto Rican people speak? What do Dominican people speak? Blah, 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 blah. I says, they speak Puerto Rican and Dominican and Cuban.
Peruvian.
Yes, it sounds like Spanish, but you all have your own dialect and your own versions of it. So I'm just culturally appropriating your dialect to your people. You speak Mexican.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah, she hit me up recently and sent me pictures of her daughter, and I'm like, that ain't mine, is it? No, I wouldn't do that to you. And then election season came around, and I saw some stuff she posted, and I'm like, yeah, I can't talk to you.
Right. I've had that with a woman. There was a woman I dated, and I noticed. I'm not political. I don't care who's the president. More power to him. I know who I voted for, and that's not who's going to be president. So I hope it all works out. And I hope it's not a big clusterfuck. But
we'll see. I mean, the way I was raised, my dad was military back in the 70s. My grandparents, and I say grandparents, they were World War II veterans. My grandfather was in the Navy. My grandmother was an Army nurse. All of my aunts and uncles. So, I was raised to, show some respect.
Right.
And I mean, granted, I didn't like Creepy Joe, but I mean, he was still my president. Right. He technically is. He's got a couple of weeks left.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're supposed to show the president some respect.
Right.
And just people don't do that no more.
No. No, you love him or hate him. And if you hate him, everybody hates you. Well,
I mean, back in the day, if you talked about some of these things that people talk about wanting to do to these politicians, they'd be in fucking jail.
I mean, I know just from what I've seen a few things. I don't know if I know Adam, it could affect Adam too. And I hope it doesn't. I've seen that Trump is going, he's got some kind of plan for Social Security and disability people.
He
wants to cut it. I hope the fuck not. I've only been on disability for 8 years. So,
and it goes on to more than that because it's people used to have a love and respect for America within itself. And I think somewhere along the way, people have just lost that.
Well, I'll go back to it and say this again. I love my country. I signed my country at one point in my life. I gave my country a blank check. And included in that blank check was if they needed it, they got my life.
Right. Yeah.
And I still stand by that oath. There are a lot of things here that need improvement.
Mm-hmm.
There's no denying that, but nothing great ever goes without risk. And it never goes without always needing some sort of an improvement to make it better.
Yeah. Now, there is a movie. And this movie.
Don't tell me you're going to bring up Bulworth.
No. This movie is called The American President. And I recommend everybody out there watch it. Michael Douglas. I think it's Michael Douglas.
Yeah, I think so. I think I know what you're talking about.
Plays the president. And Michael J. Fox is one of his aides. And Martin Sheen is his like top aide, whatever. But and he yells at him about something. And Martin Sheen says to Michael J. Fox, you can't say that to the president. He's like, actually, yes, I can, because I am a citizen, and as a citizen, it is my job to question those and what they are doing. Like I said, I don't remember it exactly, but it's just like the greatest speech on asking, politicians, confronting politicians, hey, you're supposed to be working for us. We pay your salaries.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I mean, where I stand at with it right now is the man got elected. We know where that's at. He'll be inaugurated in January. Things begin then. Let's see what he does.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Is he going to make it into a fucking circus like he did last time? Or is he actually going to get down this time, put the bullshit aside, and do the job?
well, I don't think you're just really.
I don't want the Twitter shit.
No, I'm not talking specifically about the president. Yes, it is good to confront the president and to confront your leaders, but I believe democracy has lost the way the founding fathers actually set it up to be. Democracy was supposed to be a government run by the people. Unfortunately, now there's too many people with too many different conflicting interests. But what I'm really getting down to is, amongst people, we just have a complete lack of respect for America and the true freedom that we have.
Yeah.
Maybe to a point. Corey says the real question is what crazy stuff is going to get pushed through in the next 45 days. That's a good question too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny that.
Like
we got a lot of things to consider.
What type of executive orders are we going to see? Things
Legalize marijuana across the board. Federally, state, federally.
I honestly believe, and I stand on this belief. Again, I want a strong national defense.
Yep.
I want to know if somebody's coming across that border that we've got everything we need to kick their ass back.
I think we do, don't we? I mean, I'm not a military person, but you've been in the military.
We're not where we once were.
Okay.
Along with that, I really want the cost of living to go back to affordable.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That has to happen.
I mean, fuck. I go to the grocery store. Fucking, my final ring up is $150, and I got maybe 15 things.
Huh?
Well, I see the increase of costs across the board, but then when I'm disabled, so when I got my cost of living notification, it's only going up like $30 a month.
2%, 3%. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's just ridiculous because the cost of living we get on Social Security doesn't match the cost of living in real life.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like
$1.99 a gallon.
Huh?
I mean,
Corey's on there saying make brisket $4.99 a pound again.
I'm agreeing with Corey, dude. I used to drive a 1981 Chrysler Newport New Yorker. I'd fill that thing up for fucking $10. I'd be able to go 200 miles.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, here's a great example. Here's something I look at. When I started getting my stipend and my VA pension, I was making enough where I was sitting at that I could go into semi-retirement. I did not have to work all the time. And because of the inflation rate that we have dealt with over the last 4 years, I had to go back to working full time again.
Right.
I got my paycheck for this week, or I got the check stub for this week yesterday while I was off work. And out of an $1,800 paycheck gross, I'm getting to keep $1,200 of it.
Damn.
Ooh. Ooh.
So add 130 to that,
Ooh.
which would be my child support every week
Ooh.
for one child.
Ooh. Every week. Ooh.
Every week.
Damn.
So then again, I would have been a $1,700 paycheck, and I would have kept right at about $1,300 and some change.
Right.
The rest of minus that $130, the rest of that was taxes.
Yeah.
So
And
your
guess
child
what, folks?
support
I
was
live in
within the
Texas.
$600 that was
Right.
taken out. Okay, so
I
now-
live in Texas. There's no state income tax here. That was all federal.
Well, and you should get a hell of a return.
Oh, but I'm in the tax bracket where I won't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The more I make, the less I get back on my return.
Right. Yeah.
My cousin got into the next tax bracket this year. Now he's still a couple behind me, but he got into the next tax bracket. His return this year is $600. He thinks he's going to have to pay in to Illinois State.
Oh. More than likely.
This is
Yeah.
this is the financial state of our economy right now.
Well, and that's the question that's the question all the people really need to ask your politicians. Where the fuck is this money going?
I want an itemized budget that I can look at.
Yeah.
I want to look at it line item by line item and know where my money is going.
All of us Americans that actually pay our fucking taxes pay millions of dollars a year. Yet somehow our infrastructure's fucked, our schools are underfunded.
And our debt keeps going higher.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the national debt clock now. It just keeps going higher.
Yeah.
Now, there are people that they preach raising the minimum wage because the more money people make, the more money people are going to spend.
Right.
Okay, I'll give you that. You're right. The more money somebody makes, the more they're going to spend. Absolutely correct.
Well, see now.
And then you get the money back on your sales taxes and everything else, right?
Exactly. You know.
Wouldn't it make sense?
Tax And after you pay your fucking state income tax and your federal income tax and all that other shit, everything you buy, you're paying a purchase tax, you're paying a property tax, you're paying a fuel tax. You are paying tax literally on everything you buy except for your drugs.
But isn't it logical and reasonable to say that you could do the same thing with people who are currently working by lowering the income tax and see the same influx?
Yeah. You see there,
Yeah.
and here's the thing. And Trump, when he came around the first time, he had the right idea. Drain the swamp. Get rid of a lot of things in government that we really don't fucking need. I mean, they fucking give you can get a government grant to twiddle your thumbs.
Really?
My uncle and I are both getting ready to start a business.
Look up government grant programs for it. Bet you can find one.
We're getting ready to start a business. 2 veterans starting a business together. One of them a disabled veteran. I will get more help when we get ready to launch this from the Texas Workforce Commission than I will get from the federal government. Think about that.
Yeah.
See, now you should be able to get something through the VA.
And the VA would be willing to help. But the government on both sides of the aisle walks in and they restrict the VA and the veterans all the time.
Which needs to stop. Now, and here's what I say. Along with the drain the swamp, we need to get rid of the DEA. No reason for that shit. Every state has their own way of dealing with all of that shit. So get rid of the federal DEA. Let the states deal with it their way. Federally, we have nothing to do with it. ATF, no need for it. Let the fucking states deal with it themselves if they have, their problems. No need for federal funding for that. Every single state has their own personal funding for it. And a lot of states, local police departments and state police departments are actually getting used military equipment to fund some of their shit. So no need for that no more. FBI, CIA, Department of Homeland Security, they all do the same damn thing. Collect intelligence out of the same damn building, the Pentagon. No need to fund all of them. Band them together into one central thing and fund it like that. And that is what basically keeps our military strategic and informed around the world.
Well, the CIA is not in the Pentagon. We'll start there.
Oh, no, their headquarters is in Langley, but no, they do have, like the CIA museum is inside the Pentagon.
They will brief inside the Pentagon, but they are at Langley. The FBI is over there in D.C. Their primary job is to investigate federal crime.
Okay. And they do it here in America. The CIA basically does the same thing outside of America. Department of Homeland Security also collects intelligence for the defense of America.
I have never understood the Department of Homeland Security. That's the job of the military.
I never understood it either, but it sounds like it's got a really good name. So you band that in with the CIA and the FBI, and you have that, you know, and those are basically the top military people, the best trained military people. Those,
Then you have the military.
I'll tell you who I want to get rid of. It's the fucking IRS.
now, the IRS.
Those bastards are all about trying to fuck me in my ass annually. Get rid of the IRS.
Now,
Annually or anally? Or both?
as far as the IRS and the Federal Reserve, those need to have more control put on them. Because
I'll tell you another one to get rid of. Get rid of that motherfucking FCC. Fuck the FCC.
FAA.
you know,
Keep the FAA around.
I totally agree with that. But at the same time, I don't agree with the FCC and I don't agree with censorship, but I'm sorry, with the way media is and the way it is now consistently everywhere, I mean, it's good to have some control over what's being said for the younger audiences.
Okay. Well, let me go this route with you. I see where you're coming from, but isn't that the job of the parent to be a parent?
Yes, that is the job of the parent to be a parent. But no. I mean, not all advertisement is correct for its audience. I mean, Saturday morning cartoons nowadays, if you watch it on your not a children's channel like ABC or NBC, if they still show it, I'm sure you're getting commercials for Peter Francis Geraci, Viagra, and Coors Light.
Well, we can't have billionaires go without getting a hard on.
Well, and did you know, and this is one thing that I really, truly agree with, as opposed to other parts of the world, that in America, we are the only country that advertises lawyers and pharmaceuticals.
Oh, yeah, I'm well aware of that.
Because, and
some of my favorite advertisements on the networks that I watched in Europe were of whorehouses. I didn't even model.
well, and also, I mean, the French, they do the naked news.
I wish I could. I wish I knew Steve back then, and I had him over in Germany. Man, his jaw would have been on the ground for a month.
And here's the thing about over there too is, I mean, we're, as we like to advertise pharmaceuticals and lawyers and beer and teach our kids not to swear and to behave. Over there, it's more acceptable. And their swearing is just totally different. They love calling people cunts.
Well, I mean, when I was over there, here's the biggest difference when you look at the differences between between the United States and a lot of the rest of the world. Now, a lot more restrictive in the Middle East. My God.
Yes.
Oh,
Certain parts of Asia are far more restrictive than here. However, when you look at a lot of Europe, your biggest differences there was Europe looked at and embraced nudity.
They do.
I personally love nudity.
I try to embrace.
No, Steve, I don't need to see your
can.
titties.
Yeah, usually mine.
I mean, French culture really truly embraces it more than anywhere. And I mean, And I mean, just look, they got fucking naked people painted all over Italy.
Where the nudity here is more frowned upon. Now, you start a bar fight in Germany, they send in SWAT. And these guys all look like 1980s linebackers for the Bears, and they walk in and fuck you all the way up. Over here, you start a bar fight. The cops wait outside until it spills out in the street. They just start tossing you into the paddy wagon and let you keep fighting.
Oh, I think England's the same way too. I think the cops might actually get in on it in England.
More Ireland and Scotland.
It's all on this. It's all in the same vicinity. Western Europe, out on an island somewhere.
Yeah, the United Kingdom.
Corey says, remember in Europe, you can't have an advertisement without semen between the tits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it glistened a bit, you know.
Well, that's the way America is too.
Like, oh, you know, like one of the guys that I knew in Germany, he got there about a year after I did. And we knew each other in boot camp, and he got there, and we went downtown. We got a couple beers, and we're sitting out on the park bench in the park downtown Kaiserslautern, and we're having a couple beers. And here comes this, 20-year-old redhead, foxy as hell, nice tits, and the only thing she was wearing was rollerblades.
Oh,
I'm just drinking my beer. It's no big deal. He did the same thing Steve did. Ooh, and then his jaw hits the fucking ground. And I nudged him. I'm like, you're going to get used to it. No way, man. That's great. No, I'll never get used to it. You'll get used to it. Dude, it was 3 months later. We're sitting at the at the cantina on post, and we're eating dinner. And he goes, you were right about that. And I said, about what? I'd completely forgot about the conversation. He goes, I can't believe it. I got used to seeing naked women.
I don't think you could ever get used to it. You see one.
I don't want to be used to it.
So I got a friend that actually moved to Germany, and he had some shit in America, and he moved to Germany just because he didn't want to live in America no more. So he moved over to Germany and basically claimed sanctuary as a sovereign citizen. And he's living in like this place in Germany, like a refugee place. And apparently, and this is Doug's brother, and apparently there was this other guy there that would literally just tear up money and throw it away. And Doug and his mom are planning a trip over there, and I got to remind them to look out for the money guy.
Well, and I mean, again, I kind of go back to it's a different environment. And
Johnny Chadwick, he's been over there almost 20 years now. He loves it over there. And
yeah,
when Adam had just moved over there, I hooked him up with Johnny. I'm like, Johnny will show you around, take you out. Adam got a hold of me like a couple days later. He's like, dude, I don't want to meet any of your people over here.
But there is a lot that's there that that Corey says it's like Ron White. Once you see one set of titties, you want to see all the rest of them.
Exactly.
Adam, you got something that you're wanting to say?
No, I was just nodding my head, and Julie put a pizza next to me so I could eat it later.
And
oh, for a minute I thought you were smelling your armpit or something.
That's the problem I have at the strip club is, I'm a motorboating motherfucker. I'm sorry. If you put your titties up in my face, you're getting a motorboat from me. And I'm not one to sit at the back table and just sit there and chat with my buddies while at the strip club. I want to sit up at the stage. I'll give the stripper, $1 for coming over or whatever, but expect a motorboat if you put them in my face.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just it. Like, I used to work the strip clubs. Again, I've gotten so used to it. It's like you're doing the same shit that bitch did over there. I am the guy that sits in the back with a drink and I have a conversation with my buddies. Because I'm over it.
Right, yeah.
Now, granted, if I could be up there next month on Steve's birthday, I would make it. I, as a general rule, I do not go to strip clubs anymore. As a general rule. And the reason being is because I'm sick of it.
Okay.
Anyone can show me that she's got titties. Show me you got a fucking brain.
Hey, my wife has asked me to take her to the strip club, and I can't do it.
I've never been.
Now, if I was going to be in Illinois next month, I would go pick up Steven for his birthday. I would take him to a titty bar.
Oh.
The Kappa Cabana to the Kappa.
Nope, I wouldn't go to Kappa. Kappa's gone downhill. I would not go to Big Al's. The daughters took it over and went to hell.
Silver Slipper in Ottawa, Illinois.
I wouldn't go to Silver Slipper. There is a new one in Peoria.
Oh.
That's down in the warehouse district. And the strippers in there are attractive.
Ooh. But are they friendly?
They're not that expensive.
Oh.
The drinks are affordable. And it's a decent environment.
Oh.
Rage, his wife, and I went to that strip club.
Oh.
And we took their roommate to that strip club for his first time in a strip bar.
Ooh.
He decided at that point, the roommate that they had, he decided at that point to inform Rage that not only was he going to get a stripper's number that night, but he also informed Rage that he had full intention of drinking me under the table.
Good luck on that. Just saying.
Rage proceeded to tell him that is a, you ever seen that segment on Animaniacs that's called Good Idea, Bad Idea?
Yeah.
And this kid says, well, yeah. Hey, there's an idea. Take Steve to the strip club outside of Taylorville. That's not a bad idea at all.
Is that still around there, Corey? The Sundown Club? I've heard nasty things about that, too. I heard it ain't real nice.
Well, anyway, Rage goes, good idea. Having a couple of drinks with your buddies at the strip bar. Bad idea. Taking TJ on in a drinking contest.
Oh, yeah.
And this, I can do it. He goes, you really want to go up against the Iron Liver? He decided that, yes, he still did. I was like, I had just got back from down here for a visit. I didn't want to hear it. I looked at this kid and I said, okay, you asked for it. We lined up 10 shots of 1800 tequila.
Ian,
10
A piece or 5 piece?
a piece.
10 a piece? Oh, shit.
So that was 20 shots total. I paid for them. I downed my 10, and the time it took him to get through 2.
Yeah, that'd be me.
I'm like, oh, you said you wanted to keep up? Come on. Then I started drinking tequila sunrises. Rage goes, don't kill him. Rage's wife had to hold on to the back of seat of his pants on the way home to keep him from falling out of the window in the back seat of the Jeep. I was driving, and there was a wind blast that when he upchucked a vomit,
Oh.
and the vomit shot out of him, and the wind blast hit it to such a point that it blasted Rage in the face.
Oh. Oh, no.
And when I'm drinking tequila, it ain't no fucking well tequila. You can keep that shit. I want real tequila. Patron 1800.
None of that Cuervo.
I've never had tequila, so
Neither have I.
Really?
I
Yep.
drank Malort.
Man.
My first shots were Malort.
I'm more of a whiskey guy,
Yeah. I'm with you, Chris.
but I don't like cheap whiskey.
I mean, I had I think it was like a 10-year whiskey. I only drank half the bottle and ended up selling the other half for $150.
Damn.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we've all spent a good time puking from drinking.
Nope.
Nope.
Never. I've never.
Corey says that he had a kid that he went to college with that puked in front of his front door after trying to keep up with him one night drinking Franklin County, Virginia moonshine.
Oh. I have had,
Man, you know what, Steve?
That's
Steve,
why I'm-
I'll tell you what. What I need to do while I'm up there this time is I need to come over and I'll give you a drink to try that is tequila, but it's easier on you than going straight tequila.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's why I say I'm pretty sure everyone's had a good night puking from drinking.
Oh,
if you haven't, you really haven't drank.
Well, I
That's
drank
fine.
this shit one time. We made this shit. It's called a triple Nazi. We took a fifth of Goldschlager, a fifth of Rumpelmintz, and a fifth of Jägermeister, and we poured it all in a pitcher, and then we put it in the freezer, and we started doing shots of it. Me and this guy that I live with, and it tasted like fucking Scope mouthwash. It was fucking nasty.
That's the Rumpelmintz.
Yeah, it's like fucking nasty. I didn't toss the cookies. Now his old lady, she barfed for 2 days. I'm never again.
And you know, that's one thing I was just thinking. Like in Illinois, Iowa, up there, you got bars that are like local neighborhood bars that have just been in that neighborhood for generations and generations.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something we don't have down here in Kentucky.
What?
Well, because a lot of it, a lot of it's dry counties around here,
Right.
or they come
Oh,
from
true,
dry
yeah.
counties.
Yeah.
So, there's not that bar that's been your local neighborhood bar since the 1920s,
Right,
1930s, since whenever they lifted prohibition.
Yeah.
Right. No, I'll tell you, we do have a lot of those, but a lot of those hometown bars down here are a lot more saloons.
Right.
Yeah, Texas, Western,
That
Yeah.
fits.
that's the way it is out in Arizona too. A lot of your little local neighborhood bars are more saloon types. And if you go downtown, a lot of the older buildings that are still standing, you can still see bullet holes in some of the ceilings. Like, especially in the old theater, you can see bullet holes in it.
Damn.
Sorry about that, guys. They haven't cleared my trip out of North Austin yet. Well, Pflugerville, actually.
Go figure.
I'm like, come on, man.
Where the
I get
fuck-
one day off. I'm back in this truck, which don't even feel like a day off because when you work nights, you still look at the
Yeah.
place every fucking day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where the fuck do you get some of these names at? Pflugerville, Goofy Ridge. What the fuck? Where you live? I live in Pflugerville.
Well, I mean, I live in Kingsland. Right down the road from me is Marble Falls. You know, I've got Sunrise Beach across the lake. There's a lot of different places that have different names.
Yeah.
There was a street in Las Cruces that was called Turkey Knob.
You mean to tell me there's a fucking town in Illinois called Goofy Ridge?
Heck, up north in Wisconsin, I lived in a town called Wausau, and it's near a town called Kronenwetter or Kronenwetter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I,
there's always going to be places that have funny names of towns, either due to pronunciation or the meaning that the town's name could take.
Well, like I lived in Rhinelander.
Yeah.
Emily lived in Tomahawk.
Mm-hmm.
Figure that one out.
Beaver, Utah. Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
Hot Springs is just south of Burnt Mattress.
Burnt
Yes, it is.
mattress. Steve, did you help create that town?
No.
I think there was a town that I think there was a town in Arkansas that little north of Little Rock that's called Big Cock. I might be wrong though. Hope, Arkansas. Who came from there?
Hillary
Yeah,
or Bill Clinton.
Like, there's a little town close to Taylorville here called Booty.
Yep. If you blink, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
Corey, you said Goofy Ridge is your favorite small town in Illinois? Yes, you're going to have to bear with me a second.
My favorite small town here in Illinois is a town called Cornland.
Yep. I know what Cornland is.
And it's a ridiculously small town.
I used to know a girl that worked in the post office in Cornland.
Really?
Yep. She dated a guy, the racer that I used to work on his race car. When I lived down in Dupo, I ended up going to this town called Hacker. You ever heard of Hacker?
Hacker?
HECK, Hacker, Illinois. Like, what
Okay.
the fuck is that? Hacker, Illinois. But then I
You
lived
always-
in Dupo too, so that was a pretty stupid town.
Yeah, you always find, silly names of towns, especially if you explore country roads. You're gonna find those really stupid town names.
There actually is one over in Europe, and it's called the Rude Trip Around Britain.
Oh yeah, they have some good names, towns there.
It starts in Bellenden Gardens, goes to Comwitton, then to Cock Lakes, Coat Hill, and then Cockermouth, Clit Hero, Fanny Street, Slack Bottom Road, Upper Thong, Penis Tone, Butthole Lane, Willie, Kitty Ho, Bell End, The Knob, Lower Swell, Old Sodbury, Buttcombe.
You guys, I'm sorry I had to bounce out for a minute. That was a phone call from Rage's wife. Rage has officially passed.
Wow.
Okay.
My condolences.
Yeah. So just to reiterate what TJ said to listeners who may have missed it, Rage has passed.
Yeah.
As of an hour ago.
Okay.
Wow.
Those of you that were on with us earlier got to hear us talking about a lot of the memories, some of the fun stuff. Even heard me telling some of the old stories,
Mm-hmm.
some of them that have never been told.
Yeah.
But like I said, as of an hour ago, we lost Rage. I know there's a lot of people that didn't like him. I know I had my battles with him. And I know I'm going to miss him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bear with me a second as I check out here.
There's nothing good about anybody dying, but I look at it this way. You know, Rage suffered so much. He doesn't suffer anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the next hard one. Is I'm going to have to send Ray the text.
Oh.
And which I'm going to do when I get around to the gate shack. And I'm going to have to let him know.
Right.
I know he's not going to be happy about getting a text message at the ungodly hour of 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I think this is one that he'll make well, he may not make an exception. He's still going to give me shit for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just
But,
not tonight.
huh?
Just not tonight.
You don't think it'll be tonight?
I think he'll let it go tonight, but I have a feeling tomorrow something will be said about it. So fucking send me texts at fucking 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
Well,
that
what
does
would he
sound like
rather
Ray.
have it when he's getting up in the morning?
Well, I don't know.
And
I
he's
think he's gonna
usually
have
up
right
until
now.
like fucking midnight anyway, the
he's usually
asshole.
up late. Yeah, he's usually.
Yeah,
And he said he wasn't leaving his office. He was going to watch a football game and then read, turn the football game on. So he may still be in his office.
But I mean, that's how he is. He'll throw a fit, but
He'll be up.
he'll know why.
Yeah, he'll get
And
over
actually, I think with that, he probably won't even throw a fit.
it. Nah, probably.
Knowing
Okay.
that is the reason for that text is
So let him know. Yeah.
what it is. I don't think he'll throw too much of a pissy fit.
No.
You guys have heard this here first. It is official as of official time of death 10:15, December 19th, 2024. We lost Rage.
That sucks.
It's about the time you were telling this penis story. Man.
People sometimes. This guy. I love how they have no clue what these things do and what they're supposed to do. But hey, we'll go ahead and damage them, although we depend on them.
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Oh, thanks a lot, asshole.
TJ, I had found something that was right up your alley. So these two brothers, Andy and Magnus, they spent 6 years mapping out this trip. And they dreamed up this idea of the dirty road trip after Andy drove through a place called South Gash in Northern Ireland with his brother. And they couldn't help but laugh at a South Gash signpost ever since that day. So they painstakingly mapped out this route of places with dirty signs around Britain called the Rude Road Trip, starting at Bellenden Gardens, going to Cumwhitten, Cockermouth, a bunch of other places, Shitterton, Pound Bottom Landfill, Cocking, Fingerhole, Lickfold, Titty Ho, Sluts Hole Lane, Rinswell.
That's a pretty fucked up trip.
Took them 6 years to plan it out and 4 days to actually do it. Upper Thong, the Knob, Lower Swell,
What?
Wet Wang. And this is all around Great Britain.
I believe it. And with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and run through this because we've been at it for a little over 2 hours tonight.
Oh, wow.
Chris, what are your final thoughts?
My condolences to Rage and his family. I hope that everyone will remember the good times you had with him and know that he ain't suffering no more. He ain't got to deal with our bullshit no more. He ain't got to deal with TJ hounding him. Tomorrow's a new day for everyone. And you never know what's coming. So be thankful for what you have and who you have while they are here. That being said, you know me, ladies and gentlemen, always support local independent music. Go out, buy some merch, buy an album, listen to local radio, independent radio. Listen to Asgard radio. Keep the rubber to the road and always watch for motorcycles. That's what I got. I love you guys.
Adam, why don't you go ahead and give us your final thoughts?
Okay. Always take the time to tell the people you care about that you love them or show appreciation for them. Because tomorrow's not promised. Let's see. Yeah, condolences to the friends and family of Rage. He will definitely be missed. And yeah, just, yeah, remind the people you love that you love them.
I guess it's my turn now,
Sure.
huh?
What's your final
Well,
thoughts, Steve?
I was telling Ray that I got the final middle finger on the video chat out of Rage tonight, and how I did it, which will have him chuckle a little bit. But Ray and I we've already been texting, and he says, "Damn it, Morning Disaster lost another one."
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh my God."
Yep. So, what are your final thoughts?
My
Steve?
condolences to Rage and his family and everybody. And Rage, all I can tell you, buddy, is smoke one with Jimmy, man. I would have Jimmy roll fatty, man.
Ray just said, "Oh my God," laughing out loud. Thank you for the laugh.
and you guys, this will be you guys' the last show before the holidays, isn't it? So everybody have a Merry Christmas. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
God damn, leave the door wide open.
What?
As has kind of been our theme tonight, everybody, we do know that tomorrow's not promised. Today's a gift, and yesterday's gone. That's why today is called the present. Just if we've learned anything from Rage and from Marvin, Mikey, RTQ, Nikki, and all of these people that we've lost over the last few years, it's to never, ever, ever take 1 second of what we've got for granted and enjoy every minute of it, because we're never going to get another shot. I hope that tonight, even though we're ending on a somber note, that you guys took away some of the good stories and some of the laughter that we've shared with these people. Please keep Marvin's family in your prayers as Marvin is heading down this road. Keep Rage's family in your prayers as now they're dealing with the hardest part of it all. And remember, next week, tonight is our last show until right before the new year. The Sunday before New Year, we will be back. No show Sunday. No show the Thursday after Christmas. So I want everybody to have a great holiday. Enjoy your loved ones. And we will see you on Sunday before New Year with our next edition of Mayhem's Amigos. I am TJ. With me, the chronic one, Chronic Chris, who's got
And,
his hand up.
Steve, this one's for Rage. Steve, I'll tell you what, brother. At Smoker Mania, you're going down.
I knew there was going to be some promotion.
Like these 32-inch big fat doobies we're going to be smoking.
Bring it, little man.
Wait, your name changed. I can't call you Chronic Chris. I'm looking at your name. It just says Chris.
Yeah, I don't know why it says that.
I don't know what happened.
there. I have no idea why it changed that on me. We will fix
Who would even have the ability to do that?
Nobody.
Only me or you.
What?
You are not the chronic one, evidently, huh? Hmm?
Well, we'll have that back to where it
all I can
belongs,
say is bring a
before
little
the new
man.
year. But speaking of Christmas, don't forget tomorrow. Keep an eye on Facebook and our social media platforms because I am going to do a very metal Christmas music from AC/DC,
fuck yeah.
Amon Amarth, Twisted Sister. Tomorrow, sometime on Asgard Radio. Watch. I'll keep y'all posted on social media.
So everybody, like I said, that's Chris with Steve and Adam. I am TJ. We will see you. Well, Steve will see you tomorrow on the Subscriber Friday morning edition of Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster.
Yeah. Yes, I will.
We will see all of you. We will be back together and see all of you right before the new year, the Sunday before New Year, the next time. In the meantime, everyone, take care. God bless. And we'll see you again. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.